So, hello everybody. Hope you can hear me. It would be great if some of you send me back uh, feedback that you can hear me. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Jose. So that means my setup is so far okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. Hello, Manish. Good. Okay, guys. So, the part of our, or what is the goal for our meeting, for our webinar today, is Advantage Pro 6.6 installation and possible upgrade options from 6.5. Yeah. So good. So what do we need to get ready for our apro 6.6 installation? First of all, what are our requirements? The requirements, besides having a really nice PC, which should be a server grade if you run it for a service, we need a Windows operating system. I prefer in English. It's highly recommended that you install it on an English operating system. This makes it easy for us in support to help you on any kind of support issues for your installation or for your debugging. Sorry, one thing what I forgot to mention. Of course, after this 20, 30 minutes, maybe it's 40 minutes, I don't know exactly, we are having, of course, a short answer and question session. So, but feel free whenever you need, whenever you want, just send me the questions in the chat window and I will answer your questions immediately or as soon as possible after the official end of the webinar. Okay? For everybody, we are going to record this session, so hopefully it will record the correct window, and about 2 days later on means it's something maybe will be Friday evening, or in worst case it's available on Monday evening. You can download the video, you can review the video, you can store it on your local desk if you like my voice, and you can follow this instruction again and again. And of course, I will also send a little or set up a little information on our online training session in our wiki page, so you can download necessary tools, informations, as well as the PDF file, the handout, and as well, of course, the converted video. Okay. Requirements back. RAM, I recommend highly to start with 8 GB RAM if you start a Windows server. Yeah, so Windows itself will take about 2 GB and then you have 6 GB for Advantage Professional. For a small demo, if you have 10 stations, if you want just run it for your own, for verifying if 6.6 is what you would like to use, of course, Windows with 4 GB of total RAM will work for you as well. So that means any laptop or whatever you have in your office probably will do the job. Please note, as long as you're using regular SATA drives, it will be slow, yeah, very slow, but just for a quick demo or just for a couple of RTUs, and if you do not have too many extensions or a really heavy load or really a lot of data, means by yearly data, means a couple of years of data on your database, on your demo database, it will work also on a regular, nice, cheap 300, 400 euro laptop for demonstration purpose. Okay, on your system, on your Windows server, I highly recommend to use an SSD type or any kind of similar fiber channel SATA 3 types, whatever, to make sure that Advantage Professional can access to the database in a really, really fast way and provide the data and the calculations to your clients. Others, of course, network interface, that's clear. Please make sure that your server is not on DHCP unless he gets a static DHCP IP address from a DHCP server, which is not changing. And do not play around with the network settings at all, because Advantage Professional on the license always checks the network performance and the network interface for verifying your license. Yeah, so that means at midnight the license will be checked. So do not change IP addresses or other network components of your Advantage Professional server. Offline storage for archive of the backups, of course, highly recommend to have anywhere in your local network or connected by USB. It's not recommended, but it's an option to store your backups offline, means not on your server in case your server fails or has any dramatical problem. Then at least you can start up from the scratch with a known good backup. At least you can have the data back from this backup. Good. Keyboard, mouse, monitor, as usual, to install Advantage Professional and do the first and initial setup of your Advantage Professional. I will always get a lot of questions on operating systems like Windows, what kind of Windows is tested. Basically, we think that it will work on any kind of Windows operating system. We have our preferred ones. The first one, it's Windows 7. That's intensive tested because that's the major Windows operating system, also for the programmers and for the testers. Our hosting services are running Windows 2012. And we are running the Advantage Pro 6.6 already on a couple of these servers and working perfect. So as long as you can manage and admin a Windows 2012, that's a good Windows operating system as well. Windows 8, yes, it's working. So if you have a laptop for demo purpose, it will work on Windows 8 as well. Windows 10, it's very similar to Windows 2016. We have done basic tests on it, and I find it very well, smoothly working on Windows 10 as well. So it's always just an IT issues if you can handle the firewalls and the shortcuts and other IT issues on the operating system. Windows 2016 is available as an evaluation, and it will be released very soon by Microsoft. We already are running Windows 2016 for testing or for evaluation checks, and I can say yes, it's running smoothly. And by the way, yes, Windows 2016 looks like a really nice server operating system, even for not so educated IT technicians. It's very intuitive. Yeah. Good. So what's the next? What do we need? What shall we prepare ourselves? So we need our Advantage Professional files, which are typically delivered by email, where you click on the download link, you use a username and a password, and you download the Advantage Professional files. And this includes also the known standard extensions, such as the disease models for the crops, apple scarp, and so on, yeah, and wine, potatoes, and so on. What's not included in this download, it's the non-free, the so-called non-free extensions, the additional extensions such as basic export, add timer, and generic leaf wetness, and so on. So there is a couple of additional extensions which are not free of charge. Yeah. So make sure that you contact your sales guy once you order a 6.6, that we are also going to send you the necessary additional extensions. So what else? Of course, a license key. If you upgrade from 6.5, to 6.6, you need a new license. Otherwise, 6.5, your 6.6 will not work with your Advantage 6.5 license, of course. Sorry. IP domain name and login for your data acquisition. Typically, it's an 850. What's really, really important is your administrator permission for the local installation, yeah, and any kind of special setup information for your system, yeah. IT issues, take care. You are aware of how to set up your firewall settings on your Windows server, allow port 8080, allow Advantage Professional to request data from the outside, and so on. So there's a couple of firewall settings you should be aware. Windows normally pops up and tells you that there is an active service which is requesting for some kind of internet connection, and you only need to confirm that it's okay. But especially if your Windows server is directly in the internet, you need to make sure that you set up your firewall properly, and then you need to enable this port 8080 typically to allow people to connect to your Advantage Professional service. Just a little hint, Windows update, please make sure that you are not allow your Windows server or operating server to do an automatically install and reboot for the Windows updates, because these normally updates at the worst time of the day, and then maybe your service cannot start up since Windows is not shutting down Advantage Professional database correctly and so on. So make sure that you are doing a controlled update of your Windows operating system. You can find more details on our wiki. Yeah, what is a good strategy for upgrading your Windows operating system and how to go ahead with your Advantage Professional. Good. So location for your archive backup means, are you going to transfer the files to a different PC, to a network drive or whatever? So think about your backup strategy. Do you have all third-party software such as Notepad++, 7-zip, 7-zip command line, SyncBack, and maybe other little helpers on the software like WinMerge or WinSCP or whatever, to make sure that you can install without waiting for any of these softwares being installed on your server. That's also a really, really highly recommended action. If you want our help, please make sure that at least Notepad++ and 7-zip is properly installed on your server. This makes our life much easier in case of supporting you. Good. Next point. We are going to install Advantage 6.6 on a plain operating system. For this case, we are now going into the live mode. So whatever you can see right now will be live. Yeah. So let's do it in a really, really quick way. You have your printouts. So please be aware. Have a look on the printouts, make your notes on the printouts. If you have any questions, mark it, and we will discuss it later on. So I have prepared, of course, let me see if I can simply get rid of my Advantage Professional. So good. Doesn't allow me to kill my own Advantage Professional. Good. So Let me stop it. Maybe that's the reason. So. Sorry, of course, anything is locking myself. It's probably myself. So let's go ahead. Sorry, that's live. As usual, it's myself which is blocking the access. So for this reason, I need to uninstall, of course, Advantage Professional first before I can install it. Give me a second. It will be quite easy and fast. Yes. So, okay, that it should be. And I'm ready. Good. So, ready for my Advantage Professional installation. So what I need is my Advantage Pro, my installer, and I need my extensions in case, and I need my license. So if you need a license for your demo purpose for a couple of weeks, just send an email to your sales guy and they will forward me the request and you can get a demo license for testing Advantage 6.6. So note, whenever you do some testing on your netbook or wherever, make sure that this is not a production version, yeah, and the license will end at a certain time. Do not use it on your server and upgrade your server unless you know that you later on are going to upgrade to 6.6. You will not be able to downgrade an existing Advantage 6.6 installation down to 6.5. That's a one-way ticket. Just a small warning. So right mouse click, run as administrator. Yeah. You choose the language. That's later on the language which is responsible also for your login screen. And for the installer, to install Advantage Professional, you just need to follow the wizard. Make sure you keep it easy and simple. Do not use any special folders. Always use the C Advantage Pro directory. You might smoothly change them, but do not use special characters in there or any other deep or secondary down folders, subfolders to install Advantage Professional. It's not necessary to give it into the programs or whatever. Please keep it simple. That makes our support as well simple to help you on any issues. Good. Advantage Pro 6. Click on Next. If you want to create the desktop icons, you can activate them or not. That is how you like to install it. So it's now extracting the installation files. and preparing the installation. And once it's ready, it will start installing the Advantage Professional Postgres database, so that you can see on this black command prompt window. Please be aware, do not touch it, do not minimize, just let them run. It just takes a few minutes. It doesn't take too long to install the Postgres database. Yeah? Do not close these windows, just wait until it's finished. The wizard will guide you through the complete installation process. Once it's done, we now have the option to say install it as a service, install the ad tray, which is highly recommended, as well as the service, because that's the default way to run an Advantage Professional on a server, and start admin for the license and the extensions. Of course, let's do it in this way and on the other way. So please make sure you make your adaptations for your Advantage Professional, such as editing the memory. Please have a look on our wiki how to edit the memory settings, because right now, unless the service is not installed, it's a good idea to change the user var spot in case if you would like to change the settings for the memory from the default 1.5 to something like 3 gigabyte. So, sorry, 3 gigabyte, not 2 gigabyte. Yeah. So that means now Windows is using, instead of the regular 1.5 gigabyte, 3 gigabyte of the memory for the Java task. Okay. So I really highly recommend that you have a look on our wiki page how to do it. Yeah. It's really nice described there. No matter for us to do it right here. Good. So once we are doing this here, we click on finish. So now admin should start up, and in your case it comes up as well as on my with a blank screen. So we need to select the license. So we go to the license file, we click on yes, we register the license. So everything is done. In my case, you can see that's a demo version which will end at the 31st of January 2016. I have a license for 5 concurrent users. That means 5 users can log in directly at the same time, and I can have up to 499 devices. Yeah, and the version is mentioned here. It's for production, and the live data is activated, and the MIS odd data import is activated as a feature. Yeah, good. Next is the extensions. Quite easy. Here, please always add the extensions to make sure the latest extensions are installed. You can choose your crops if you want to install only some of the crops. You click on OK, you accept, you sign with your blood as always, and we are done. Yeah, file, save, file, exit. Yes, perfect. We are done. So now in the meantime, the ad tray is started. So that can be seen here. Here's the little ad tray tool. Right mouse click, and I can start my ad tray, or I can go to the services of Windows, click on my Advantage Pro. By the way, here you can see that the Adcon Postgres SQL database is already started. Yeah. Right now, right mouse click, start up. You can see now the animated GIF for the ad tray shows Advantage Professional is starting up. That might take a few seconds, even on an empty blank database. The empty database needs to be created. Yeah. So the startup time in this case was 12 seconds. I'm moving my taskbar again and hide it. So pressing F5 on the services now shows me Advantage Professional is started. So what to be done next? Do your initial setup. What is the initial setup of your Advantage Professional? What is the minimum thing what you need to do? You need to change the root password. Make sure that you remember your root password. Put it in an envelope, put it in a safe, or use an electronic safe. As a next option, I highly recommend to create a daily administrator in Advantage Professional and not using root. Yeah. And even more important, please set up an email client. So let's log in. So, tools, server settings, email settings. Please enter an email client for your Advantage Professional. Even if you do not use the email for any alarming, this is the requirement to allow Advantage Professional to send you an email to this given email address in case of the database backup fails, the database fails, or whatever. Okay? Good. The other thing is user server settings, database, change the backup settings. I highly recommend that you have a quick look in it here, and you maybe want to change the Advantage Professional backup to any other drive, not to the C drive where you have installed Advantage Professional, so your backups are not on the same disk unless you know what you're going to do with your backups. Okay, so that's the number of backups. In our case, it's 3. That's the default setting. If you have enough disk space, you want to have 7. Verify backup. This will increase your database size. Take care, it will double the database, because then the database is 2 times available in the Postgres database system. Yeah, so make sure that you really have enough disk space to do a verification of your Advantage Professional Postgres database. Another option here is every day or every week. So you can either choose that you do a backup every day. Note that's a local backup of Advantage Professional. Yeah, that has nothing to do with your IT work that you have to archive your backups. Okay. And last but not least, you can define when you would like to do your backups. The default is changed from 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. since we noticed there's a lot of actions going on from the Windows service and people are not aware of that Windows is updating and doing some maintenance task right at the time while Advantage Professional is doing a backup. This sometimes causes an issue and a conflict. So I highly recommend that you check this here, make it suitable for you. For example, if 9 p.m. you're still working on the system, you maybe want to choose 11 p.m. where say so nobody's all going to work at this time on my server, and it's a good time then at this time to make the backup, which will not disturb people too much if the server is going slow a little bit. Good. So that's for this here. How to set up a user, that's more part of Advantage Professional training. These are the quick informations about an initial setup on an Advantage 6.6. Furthermore, on a regular training. So next action in my case is I'm logging out now and I need to uninstall Advantage Professional 6.6 to make sure that I can upgrade now with a new 6.6 from a 6.5 to show you these next steps. So let me do the quick uninstall. That just takes a few seconds. I'm going to my Advantage folder, right mouse click, I uninstall. By the way, this uninstall is the same thing what happened if you go to uninstall Advantage 6.5, which is necessary to install Advantage 6.6 for the upgrade option. Okay, click OK, yes. I confirm. No worries about this error message. So Advantage Professional now is completely uninstalled. There's just a few things in there which I can now remove. Take care. In here, that's the database. So in my case, I'm going to remove the complete Advantage Professional. That means also the Advantage Professional now is going to be removed. And if I would not have a backup, my Advantage Professional backup is, or my Advantage database is gone. So I delete Advantage Professional. It's now gone. My Advantage Professional 6 folder is gone. And what I'm going to do here, that's my prepared Advantage 6.5 installation with a small database of 2 GB to show you the upgrade process from Advantage Professional. So, oops, sorry, took the wrong one. My fault. This is my Advantage Professional. I better should note it down on my notes that this is my Advantage Professional to be started up. So I can start up now with the start server .bat file, and I can show you that there is a real Advantage Professional 6.5 running, which I can upgrade to 6.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm starting it manually, 10 seconds. Advantage Professional now, 6.5 build 16, the latest released version is now ready. Yeah. So go ahead and go. I don't like you. Why this fucking thing is... Sorry. So, root. In my case, the default password, not a safe password, so I would not use it for my server outside. So you can see we have here real Advantage Professional data. Sorry. That is a caching issue. If you play around a lot with the Advantage Professional on your local Mozilla Firefox, is also caching a couple of pictures. So take care once you're upgrading. This is something what you need to get rid. Use the F5 button and then it will reload the new images. So here we have our Advantage Professional, which we're going to upgrade. Just to show you, help shows that's Advantage 6.5 build 16. Good. So I'm logging out now. I'm closing. I'm going to stop the server. So that's a manual startup of the Advantage Professional. Good. So that's what I would like to show you before going ahead. So verify that you have a known good backup of the database. If not, then start your Advantage Professional and create a backup now. Verify that all your files are available for the upgrade, Advantage installation files, the extensions, yeah, the new license for 6.6. Make sure that you have enough disk space for the conversion. Please note there will be at the end a little table which shows you how much disk space we need. Yeah. Here you have an example of the calculation what you need for your installation. Okay, so it's really, really important because during the installation you have 2 databases on your hard disk. The existing HSQL database and then at the next step Advantage 6.6 database, which is about 1.4 gigabyte after the complete conversion. That's not nice, but on the other side, the backups then are much smaller, so they are just 40% of the origin size of the HSQL. So that means at the end, we are saving a lot of disk space by using this Postgres database. Good. What would be the next step? We need to stop the add tray, get rid of the add tray. That's a good idea. We need to stop our server. It's not really necessary. Advantage Pro installer will do it automatically if it's not stopped, but it's always a good idea to do it manually because then you have a control shutdown of your database. What is a good idea if you upgrade is that you go to your Advantage Professional folder, you select the complete folder, the content, you do not include the DB folder, you do not include the log folder, for example, because that's not necessary. Then you do a copy. So right mouse click, copy. So we copy all the files, and then we create a new folder called apro65.bug, for example. Yeah, and we're going to copy all the files. You can see it's about only 300 to 400 megabyte. So including in this bug files, what we now call the backup, yeah, that's just the installation backup. This is a very important thing later on in case if you have any really strange issues with your installations. That helps me to make sure that I can either reinstall your Advantage 6.5 or our support, yeah, or I can check what was the previous status, yeah. And for you as well, you can always check what was your settings from the uservirus.bat file, that means memory, and other special settings of Advantage Professional. Good, so this is done. Quite nice, quite good. So run the uninstall of Advantage 6.5. You have seen that already before, so no need to show it again to you. Or yes, it's a good idea because it's still there. Sorry, good idea. Right mouse click. So now everything's gone, but we still have our apro6 bug files. So Advantage Professional now is reduced. The database is still there, yeah. Unless we kill Advantage Professional, it's still there, yeah. Good. Next step is, oops, sorry. And that was a little bit too fast. So, next step is, again, the same way we are now going to use the installer of Advantage 6.6. It's the same wizard, it's the same software, it's the same piece of installation files. We go to the Explorer file or where we download it. In my case, it's here. Right mouse click. We say run as administrator. We choose the, click OK. The same way as before. Now we keep the Advantage Professional. It gives us a little warning telling us, take care. Are you sure you want to override? Yes, we are sure. Click on yes. We can create our desktop icons. Yes, that's okay. Click on next. Click on install. And now it's going to unzip it again, as you have seen it already in the previous installer 6.6, where we installed it plain on our Advantage Professional. And as you can see, it's quite fast. The installer just takes a few minutes. Also, the upgrade is just a few minutes. You will notice what is not just a part of a few minutes is then later on the conversion of the database. The conversion of the database will be done once right at the startup. Once right at the startup, the database is converted. That's not part of the installer. The installer is just installing Advantage Professional and the Adcon Postgres database. Yeah. So the installer is ready. Same procedure as before. We can now modify our settings for the memory. We can now copy back the email settings, for example. We can copy back the local server properties, or we can use WinMerge and combine the settings for the new local server properties files. So what's in these properties files? Please have a look on Wiki. Wiki will tell you what you can set in there, what's recommended to set there. As an administrator hint, there is the information about your basic export extension, for example. Okay, so once we have done all these modifications, we can click and say finish. For my Swedish friend, we maybe use the Swedish the next time, but this time we finish this. In my case, since I has already installed it, it's now popping up and telling me there is already a license found. In your case, you need to browse to the license. You choose the license, click OK Import, and that's okay. If you're upgrading, it pops up with a little information about your 6.5 license is not okay. You need to upgrade the license, and that's the way how you do it. And please register the license to make sure you will not get a warning at the startup at the login screen. Good. Same situation for the extension. New. We choose the installation folder. We click on our extensions. So in this directory, all the extensions are there. It means that's the fruits or the crops, the crops. And inside the crops, there are the calculations for the disease models. We choose them all, makes it easy, accept. You can see the button is grayed out. Now these are installed. File, save, file, exit, yes. And now we are ready for installation. So, at the first time you start up Advantage Professional, please be aware. Depending on your Advantage Professional database size, it might take a few minutes. If it's just a few 100 megabytes or 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabytes, something like that. If you're talking about 50 gigabyte or even more, you might talk about hours. Yeah. During the first startup, if you use the add tray, for example, if you use the add tray to start them up, you will not see any further information rather than the add tray icon is using the animation, the animated GIF, telling you Advantage Professional waiting for server respond. Yeah. So we're talking about this little icon here. So this little icon, it's checking every 10 to 20 seconds if Advantage Professional is running and to update the status. Right now it's telling us the server is stopped. So every 10 to 15, 20 seconds it's checking what is going on. Is there any Advantage Professional running or not? So please be patient. If you use right mouse click and you start your Advantage Professional, you will not see any output. In case if you would like to see an output, what is Advantage Professional doing in the background while Advantage is starting, it's grabbing the information from the DB folder, which is in here, and converts it into the new Postgres database, which is in here. Yeah. right mouse click, properties. You can see 43 megabyte. So this is an empty Postgres database. And my HSQL database, right mouse click, properties, that's about 500 megabyte size. So it's a couple of RTUs in there. You have seen them already before as an installation. So if I would like to watch what Advantage Professional is going to do, you can see the little screenshots in the presentation. I can show you what it is going to looks like in real. Just take care. I'm working on a really, really fast laptop with a built-in SSD drive, which is really fast. So even if your database is only 500 megabyte, you might expect a couple of minutes, up to 10 minutes or 15 minutes until your database is converted, fully converted. So you won't see too much here, but anyhow, it's a live show. So we click on Start Server Bot, which is starting up Advantage Professional manually. It's not starting up it as a service. Take care. If you would like to use it then later on your operating system as a service, you need to use the stop server and then go to your services or use a tray, right mouse click and say start the server. So let's start manually. Advantage Professional now is starting up and it's identifying it's an empty database and you can see it's already converting. So that's what is running in the background. You can see already here the animated GIF shows me it's waiting for a response. So server is starting up. Please be patient. Even in my case, it might take 1 to 2 minutes, I think, something like this. So even if the window stops anywhere and it looks like it's not doing anything, just wait until it tells you, or especially the add tray tool will tell you it's ready, it's done, and all the data is converted. Yeah, that's a really important thing. So if you're not patient enough, maybe the start server will help you. Otherwise, if you start them up with the regular service, please note it might take a long time. You can see here already the running. This task can take very long. Yeah? So that's the final task. That's where the Advantage Professional now is converted. So it's data. It's the real database which is now converted. Whatever you have seen before, it was just tables, entries, events, informations. So now it's converting the database. And even if it's now look like it's doing nothing, it's still doing the final things. And we can see Advantage Professional is now starting, and it took for me, it's about 2 minutes, something like this, to convert all my data from my 500 megabyte HSQL database. As a quick information for all others, it's not necessary to run a defrag before, because this conversion is more or less a defrag of your database. So no need to run a defrag on your HSQL database upfront. Good. More or less, that's it. We can now log in. So I'm going to stop it and start it as a service. Right mouse click, come on. Right mouse click, start. So you can see no window is starting up. Yeah. And in the background, this little add tray icon now will show us in 10 seconds to 20 seconds time intervals what is the status of my Advantage Professional. It's now starting up. And on the Windows services, you can see Advantage Professional is started and Postgres as well. Postgres will be started automatically. There's no separate startup of the Postgres. Please make sure that this is starting automatically before you start Advantage Professional. Yeah? Good. So we can log in again. localhost. So, root, my password root, we log in. You can see here, that's a caching issue from Advantage, not from Advantage, from Mozilla Firefox. That's the same thing for any other browser. So what you need to do is you press the F5 button. I'm now going to press the F5 button, and you can see it's updating the cache. So that might happen several times in Advantage Professional whenever there is something pre-loaded a couple of days before, an icon or any special, especially the icons for the RTUs or for any kind of extensions. If you don't see the actual icon, please press the F5 button, or you go to the Mozilla settings and you clear your cache manually. Good. We're done already. So please verify after you installed your Advantage Professional tools. Go to your email settings, verify your email settings, make sure the email settings are still valid. Go to the database, go to change backup settings, and verify that this is your setting you would like to use. Yeah. Make sure user options, create additional user if necessary, and have fun with Advantage 6.6. So last but not least, there is a little overview on the last page. What is the typical performance changing on the database, on the Postgres database? So more or less, some of these looks like dramatically. The major thing what you will see is on the server restart. Take care, it now takes 2 to 3 times to start up Advantage Professional. So whenever you are in need of restarting Advantage Professional, make sure that you remember, if the server was starting up earlier 3 minutes, it now takes about 6 to 8 to 9 minutes, maybe, depending also on the action what it is doing during the startup. Okay? Good. That's it for the first training in the year 2017. Sorry, it took a little bit longer. As usually, I'm talking too much. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me see if you have a few questions. Let me see if I can answer them immediately. So, guys, it's up to you now. If you have any questions, that's your time now to do it. Of course, do not hesitate to send me an email later on. It will also be great to get a feedback. And yes, excuse me, it took a little bit longer than I expect. Next time I promise it will only take 30 minutes, but I'm pretty sure there was a lot of useful information for you. And while watching the webinar again, after a couple of weeks, after you're going to install your first 6.6 or upgrade your 6.5, you might find some useful things in there as well. And in this case, you can use the slider and jump to the point where you would like to get the information about the installation and the upgrade. Good. I have a question here. So, is the upgrade process still valid for 6.5? Yes. It's a question from Jose from Spain. Yeah, it's more or less the same situation. Just make sure that you understand that apro66, maybe I did not point that out, is upgrading also the database to 6.5. So please be aware of your backup. Please be aware of your 6.4 backup. apro6.6 will convert any database from HSQL, which is starting from the version 6.2, I think, 6.3, to the 6.5, to the latest version of 6.5 HSQL, and then it converts the database to the Postgres database. So whatever is your database status, 6.2, 6.3, it might take a little bit longer, a little bit more than I mentioned already, since it needs to convert the databases in between of the HSQL versions as well. Yeah. So then I have another one, how to upgrade the pictures 6.5 to 6.6. Ricardo, I'm not quite sure if I understand. Has it to do with the F5 button? Are you still there? Ricardo, are you still there? Okay. Ricardo. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. In this case, use the F5 button or use the function in your browser to clear the cache. That's a simple caching issue. Yeah, that's the same thing also for 850 upgrading the web pages. So whenever there's a new web page, the browser still maybe uses the old pictures from the web. But thanks for pointing it out again, and happy to get the question. To all others, please do not hesitate to give me your questions. There is no silly question. There's only a stupid answer from my side. Believe me. Yeah. So there is an Osvaldo. You would like to get a demo version of this? For sure. If you know how to handle that, simply contact your salesperson, and the salespersons will then hand over you a license, a small license for a couple of RTUs, and please be aware, do not run Advantage 6.6 on your production machine unless you know how to upgrade, because if your license is not sufficient enough, you will not be able to start your Advantage Professional if the license doesn't match to the number of RTUs or whatever. Good? Okay. Arnold, bye-bye. Thanks for joining the meeting. Any other questions? Of course, do not hesitate to send your emails to our support inbox. Our next session will be maybe earlier than expected. We probably will talk a little bit about again, backups, and maybe 850 or the backups of Advantage Professional will be one of the next webinars, to make sure that everybody knows how important it is to do the backups, and there is no excuse for you guys not to take care about Advantage Professional backups. Okay? For sure, Ricardo. Don't hesitate. Contact me. Send me your emails. I'm happy to get all these questions. Just be aware it might not be myself which is answering. Then it's my new colleague, Dustin, which is giving you the answers. So don't worry about. He will get trained very, very well from my side. So don't worry, and don't get shocked if there is not the margin at the end of the email if Dustin sends you the answers. And last last but not least, as always, please guys, contact Wiki, log into Wiki, check your Wiki settings. We have a new Wiki, we have a new version of Wiki, we have a really nice looking Wiki again, and we have already a couple of new entries for you ready, as well as there will be a new section for apro66, and which will include also your questions as a frequently asked questions, if possible, as soon as I have time to update. No, not Wiki 6.6. It will be Wiki 1.5, but the new Wiki 1.56, I think, MediaWiki is really nice, has a lot of new features, and it's looking really, really smart. Good. If there are no other questions, thanks for joining this webinar again, and we will see you in about 10 to 14 days. Last chance. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.